Back to the show. We've got a very special guest, good friend of the show, Dan Bongino. You've scared Rolly, man. He thinks you're going to come abduct him.
we were talking off the air. He's a character.
Oh, yeah.
Folks, I wish those were live conversations. I think they'd get you better ratings, the off-the-air conversation.
Absolutely. You should hear some of the stuff.
He's a character.
FCC would find us.
What's going on, my man? How are you?
Hey, man, I'm good. There's a lot going on. What's up with Charlie Crist? Now all of a sudden he's a Democrat?
Oh, man, Charlie Crist.
What's a Democrat?
Well, he's a Republican, then he became the independent for a little while. Don't forget that.
Yeah, sure.
And then now he's a, well, you knew that was coming because he was, at the Democratic convention, gave that speech there. But,
He's going to be libertarian next. He's going to try to run the full gamut, maybe Green Party.
Maybe so.
Let me ask you, I'm Maryland. You guys are down in Florida. He doesn't have a chance, does he?
Oh, no. Well, actually, it's funny. He might because the voters here are very fickle.
Yeah.
So he may actually, and you know what? People can't stand Rick Scott now. He's
really?
Yeah, even though he was overwhelmingly voted in, and now, the tide kind of has turned on him. Because, like anything else, he actually is cutting, government programs, and, people don't necessarily like that.
The ones that there were no money for,
exactly.
Government programs, right?
Yeah.
The ones who were borrowing money.
Yeah.
It's funny, you see the same dynamic kind of working out right now in Michigan. That was one of the stories I was going to see if you were interested in talking about today. I mean, look, a right-to-work state, they're right around the corner from turning poverty into prosperity. And look what's happening. These union guys are sending out this group of people out there with all this nonsense. And, the president said something yesterday that was so disingenuous. He said right to work. What? He said right to work for lower wages? That's nonsense.
Right.
The Journal has a report today. There are 23% higher rates per person of income growth in right-to-work states. I mean, the research is right there for you to look at.
Well, not only that, what really, pisses me off about the whole argument is this. It's like, why should I be forced to pay union dues if I'm not in a union? And moreover, why should it be taken out of my pay? I mean, I should have the right to say, hey, I don't want to be in the union, and you can't take union dues from me, and that's my choice. What's the big deal? How is that a bad thing?
Edward, that's not anti-union either. Matter of fact, I would almost make the argument that that's pro-union. If people say, oh, that's crazy. I say, no, it's not. It forces your union to provide Edward with a quality product. And if you don't want it, like you just said, why should you be forced to purchase the product? And I mean, that's as pro-union as it gets. It's like saying, we're not going to have any, we're going to force you to buy Wonder Bread over a different variety of bread. Well, there's no incentive then for Wonder to produce good bread for you.
Right.
So it's actually pro-union legislation, and that's not dancing around the words either. So I just find some of those arguments, again, to be, like you said, totally disingenuous. How do you argue for force?
Yeah.
Forcing people to do anything.
You're going to force me to join the union, and you're going to force me to pay union dues even if I don't want to be in it. I mean, that should be my fundamental choice as a worker, that I'd say, hey, I don't want to be in the union. For whatever reason. I don't like the color of the union logo. I don't want to be in the union, whatever.
It's weird that liberals, they rally against these, like, top-down type programs, but not when they're at the top.
No.
When they're at the top and forcing everything down, higher taxes, unionization, forcing kids to go to schools that are terrible, that they love it. They like force when they get to do the forcing. I mean, isn't this incredible? The hypocrisy on the other side of the political fence is just legendary. Well,
it's amazing, and there was this poll out today, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, about having to do with, the fiscal cliff. And everybody, the only thing they support is the tax increases on the wealthy. They don't want, and nobody supports cutting any of their benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, but the only thing they do support is taxing the wealthy. And, it's like, no, don't touch my stuff. Go ahead and tax the ones, but don't touch my stuff.
Yeah, it's going to get you like a grand total of, if it even works, which it's not going to, but if it was to work, it would get you a cool $80 billion a year. And I think we were talking last week, and I said, where are you getting the other $1 trillion for? That's just to balance the budget this year. Where's the other $1 trillion coming from? You're not even at 1/10 of our budget deficit for this year. It just goes to show you the incredible PR job this White House has done on America, that people actually believe that taxing these infamous 2%, and I say that sarcastically, is going to do anything to solve our problem.
And you know, I think that they should go ahead. This is what the Republicans should do. They should say, okay, fine. Go ahead and tax the wealthy. Go for it. And then when it doesn't work, you know, you own it. That's what they should do.
You know, I thought about that. But another talk show host, a prominent conservative one, brought up a good point. It kind of swayed my thinking on it. He said, you know, we're already in the disaster, and nobody seems to know. Like, he thought that before. Oh, we'll elect Obama, the economy will stink, and people blame him. Well, we elected Obama. The economy is atrocious. And what did they do? They blame Romney. He wasn't even the president. It worked. So I have to tell you, your logic is sound, but we're fighting against such a devious political machine that they'll find a way to blame this on the Republicans, and we'll be the ones who are responsible for this. All of a sudden, we'll be the party of higher taxes. And that's what worries me with this guy. His PR machine is incredible.
Yeah, they are incredible. But, you know, I think that the president wants us to go over the fiscal cliff because, think about it, they're going to be able to, taxes are going to go up on everyone. They're going to have automatic cuts in defense spending, and then he can blame the Republicans. I mean, I think that from a PR standpoint, it's genius.
Isn't that a liberal dream right there? Higher taxes on everyone.
It's a liberal wet dream.
Right, national defense collapsing overnight. So I don't disagree with you. I think he does want to go. And it's funny. He says, "Oh, I got a hard line on these tax rates and raising more revenue." Well, the Republicans even came on that. They said, "Listen, we'll give you the revenue. We're just going to do it through closing the loophole operation. You know, this distorted tax code." He said, "No, I don't want that revenue. I want to make sure the revenue, which is the nonsensical word in and of itself, comes from these specific people." So he doesn't even want the money. He just wants it from these people. It's really a sick political ideology.
Well, we need to have a balanced approach. Anyway, listen, I got to run, my man. I'm up on the end of the show, but love having you, and we'll speak to you next week.
Hey, good to talk to you, Edward. Take care.
All right, my man. Have a great day. We are done here today, but if you want to listen to the show again, we're on at 11. Check out edwardwoodson.com. Send me your emails, your comments. Love to hear it. Love to hear from the people in Phoenix at KFNX. Good day.